Hey Coach, hope you're enjoying the video. Make sure you subscribe and like. We love those. Also go over and check out tryouts.com for coaches who want to get better. If you want to become a better coach in less than $1 a day, you can do that. My mentor, my personal email address, I will help you become a better basketball coach. Go over and check it out. Let's head back to the video.
All right, welcome to High School Hoops. Hi, Jake.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Jake and I were I literally had to stop Jake and I from talking because we'd just been talking for like 15 minutes. And I said, Jake, we got to start taping this because we're talking about my team and preseason, all that stuff. Anyway, before we get started on the podcast, I'd like to do a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, who has signed up for another year. Thank you, Dr. Dish.
Thank you.
And I'm working on a better discount for all of you. So news to come. Anyway, mention High School Hoops, Coach Unplugged. You could even say, hey, I hear Coach Collins getting a new discount for 2022. Could you give me that? I won't tell you what it is because we're still in negotiations. But anyway, right now, $350 off. Mention Coach Unplugged, Coach Collins, whatever, High School Hoops, whatever you want, teach hoops. And then also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better, the one-stop shop for basketball coaches, a little bit of everything.
Start checking our YouTube channel because I'm going to be posting a play, or Coach may be
Coach is gonna light up
our YouTube channel.
And then also go over and check out funneldown.defense.com. I think that's right. I don't even remember what my URL is anymore.
You have now taken the funnel down to a URL.
I have. Oops, I got to see. It's not I'm Googling it right now, people.
Have you made a logo yet?
I do. So I also have a podcast, the Funnel Down Defense podcast, which I'm just it's funneldown.defense.com. And it's a funnel and it funnels it down. Anyway, so go over and check that out. Prices, if you're listening to this, because you're listening to this right before Thanksgiving, prices are going up. Because I'm gonna start putting game footage in and stuff like that, and some other things. So if you're thinking of the Funnel Down Defense, if you have a team that's
so my question, that I don't know, maybe be a teaser before we talk, this Funnel Down Defense, are you going to constantly update it, and like once you see things that might change, like is it going to be consistent? Like,
it is. And I have a Funnel Down Defense.
That's the cool thing about a DVD. Once you get that DVD, it's what it is, right? And we all know that defenses change throughout the course of when you're playing teams and so forth. So I would recommend anybody that's a basketball coach that likes the Funnel Down Defense. I don't think you're going to get a better opportunity to get the tweaks and movements of.
No, and you're getting it in the ground floor because it's only going to go up. And I have I'm looking at my page right now. I have a Funnel Down Q&A. So when somebody asks a question, I basically answer it and then I put it in there. So it's like, I'm answering the questions as we go along. Anyway, let's get to enough. That
wasn't an intended plug, though.
That was not an intended plug. That was not. Because I don't even think I've talked about it, but I haven't talked about actually launching. Anyway, all right. What's the topic today?
Also, I would like to let everybody know, because I'm still kind of taking my sabbatical away from coaching high school and college. My daughter loves basketball. I don't know why she would. But she loves it. And I always told myself I would never coach my daughter, but I guess I'm going to, and it's been great. And I'm coaching third grade girls basketball, and it's been so much fun. And I told Steve, we always talk about what topics we want to do. We kind of, we do them in bulk. And I said, we really need to talk about how we can simplify our identity. And as a high school coach, I always made the mistake of having like 8 bullet points, this and that. And like, I think I have come up with a great idea of my simplified that can be even, you could even replicate it at the high school level. And then I think Steve has a really good idea what he's doing this year based on his situation and really developing a good routine. So Coach, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. So first of all, so the new thing on Twitter and Facebook and all the basketball coaches are talking about is simplicity, which obviously, if you know, my offense and defense can fit on a 3x5 note card. So I've always thought about simplicity. I think what's happening with that kind of pitch right now with all the stuff that's out there is simplicity doesn't mean you get rid of you need things in your toolbox. So and this is what I mean by this. So I actually was gonna, anyway, so they're talking about simplicity, and they're saying, just I'm gonna run man to man, and that's all I'm going to run. Okay, if I was a college coach, absolutely. But the problem is when all these gurus out there say simplicity, simplicity. Yes, simplify. You're probably doing too much. However, you need things in the toolbox when the man-to-man defense isn't working. So what are you going to do? Like, these are high school kids. Your adjustment, like, so they're lighting you up in your man-to-man defense and you don't have anything else in the toolbox. I think that's being negligent. I think you have to have things in your toolbox. You have to have different offenses, different.
At one point too,
yes,
the idea of simplicity is you can also add small layers. We talked about this several podcasts,
Yep.
right? I just talked to a friend and he's thinking about implementing a 3-2 zone. I said, you could have 3 or 4 variations of a 3-2 zone with your 8th graders or freshman team.
Yep.
And then you'd have your man team and then you'd be good to go and just having those variations. And
Yes.
so, simplicity is having a solid base, but you have to have those layers and different tweaks to be prepared.
Right. You have to have the fundamentals down. And I think sometimes they get so narrow-minded, like, okay, maybe we're going to double the first pass on our man-to-man. Maybe we're going to do this on our man-to-man. Yes, I agree. I 100% agree. I also agree that defensively, I think you have to be a man zone coach. Not at the
Absolutely.
youth level, but at the high school level. I think you have to have a man in, you have to have a zone in. Because I think it's a law of large numbers, in the sense that there's times where you got to stop slow pace, you have to change pace, you have to do things to adjust to it.
If we as Wisconsin people know, in 2015 we had an incredible almost national championship team, and Wisconsin played one style of defense the entire game, the whole season, and we lost by 6 points. If the Badgers have some type of zone, we're national champions in 2015. I guarantee you.
You think so?
Absolutely.
That's a bold statement. Okay.
That's too good a talented team. We lost by 6 points, and we got beat by guard play by 49 points. You implement a zone that helps support and defend guard play, we win the national championship. I'm just saying.
Quote unquote. There you
Quote
go.
unquote.
Going back to the thing though, so we were talking about, like, kind of I have a young team. I was telling you before we came on air, I have a young team and they've never really been coached by me. They haven't, and they don't necessarily know our history or, what we've done over the last 20 plus years.
And let people know, Steve, that you didn't coach last season because of COVID. So
right, no
it's
season,
not even
nothing.
the point of them knowing it. It's all new to them.
Right, it was all virtual. Like, we did Zoom calls. How much bonding can you do? So what I've been talking to my guys about is this is what we do. Like, because they don't know, like, how does pre-practice work? Well, this is what we do. You find your partner. This is what we do. How do we strike? This is what we do. So I've tried to keep it simple, in the sense that I'm almost like teaching them how to walk again. From that standpoint, and when you do that, you definitely have to keep it simplified. But go ahead, Coach. Talk about your team and your.
I think if you are able to break it down in either 3 or 4 ideas, and that you can be able to use them as questions that are very broad, that can build anything. So here's my rule number 1. Now, remember, I'm coaching 3rd grade girls. Is have fun. Okay, at that level, you want to have fun. Okay.
Yep. At
some point in your program, whether you're high school, the fun factor does matter in 2021. Just letting everybody know that. Number 2, be a great teammate. So every time I'm with my girls, are you being a great teammate? Okay. There's a lot of things that you can add and ask that question to your team, saying, are you being a great teammate? Pretty vague, but that's pretty simplified, that you can be constantly using in situations. Rule number 3 is be your best self. Are you being the best player you can be all the time? All right. And then the last one is the one we edited yesterday, because it was my first games, is the girls were afraid to make mistakes and they were afraid to get after it. And then, so our last one is be fearless. Okay. That's it. And I think, it's not like determination and dedication and all this other stuff. Like, if you're determined and you're dedicated, you're being a great teammate, you're being your best self. Right. And so, like, a lot of those things, those little thought-provoking things, can totally be used in a simplified way. And so instead of having like 8 or 9 things, you can break it down into 3 or 4.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think I think obviously everybody wants to have fun, especially at the high school level. It's a little different.
It's different. It's different. But I'm talking about those other 3 things, like be a great teammate, be your best self, and be fearless. Or
Do
you
the
could
right
put,
thing. Do the right
Yeah.
thing is what I say. Like that
Yeah.
should be that's kind of our rule. Do the right
Right.
thing. Like go to class, do the right thing, be on time, do the right thing, help your teammates up, do the right thing. You know, all those things.
Like
You have
if
to
you're
teach
not
them.
rebounding, you are being a crummy teammate and you're
Right.
not being your best self.
Well,
So like what I'm saying is you can take those little stems and everything branches off of it.
You'll love this though too, because so we had like my first meeting that after I'd picked the team, we just kind of were sitting and talking, and I showed them the Villanova clip when all those guys ran over and picked up their teammate. I said, "This is
Yeah.
what we do," and so after the meeting we went to practice, and someone fell down, and we had 2 guys run over. I said, "That's not what we do. What do we do?" And then we practiced it, and then the next time over, everybody but one player ran over. That player has been talked to. And the problem here's the issue right now is the players. I said, I don't care if they get up, you should still run over and check on them. Like, because the problem is that only 2 or 3 of them get to them before they actually get up most of the time, because they're usually not just bang down to the floor. But that you can just see the wheels turning, how that mentality has changed. Like, oh, this is what we do. This is what we do. You know, we get dressed up for game day. This is what we do. You know, here's how we, you know, this is so literally all of it. But I agree. I think that simplicity is
You know, and I think you kind of like the other thing I talked about, the win, what is important now. You know, this is what we do. Everything that we do is important now when we're in that case. So
right.
There's another couple things. You could take one of those. If you just want to focus the whole year about being a great teammate, then do that. All right. Or if you want to value what's important now, the win, you could totally build your whole simplified on that. What's important right now? Win.
Yes.
Win.
Okay. That's a good thing to end on. Let's win. Coach Collins,
right, Coach.
Those of you that are listening to, you can't see, he's got bags under his eyes. He's welcome back to coaching, you know. But hopefully by the time this goes up, Mr. Coach Collins will have his first win under his belt. So let's knock on some wood. So let's hope. All right. Till next week.
Later.
Bye.
Hey, Coach, hope you're liking the video. If you are, make sure you hit like down below. That helps us a ton. Also, make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell up above. You'll get a notification every day when we put our new video up. Go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better.